The Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China is the longest structure ever built. It includes sections of handmade walls, as well as natural barriers like rivers and hills. The main portion of the Great Wall that exists today stretches around 5,500 miles, or 8,850 kilometers, and includes around 3,890 miles, or 6,260 kilometers, of handmade wall. This section of the Great Wall extends from the Bow Gulf of the Yellow Sea to the Jiayu Pass in what is now Gansu province in western China. Over the centuries, various rulers built walls to protect their northern borders against invaders. Some of these walls stood on or near the site of the Great Wall. Most of what is now called the Great Wall dates from the Ming Dynasty, or 1368 to 1644. In 2012, the Chinese government released the results of an archaeological survey of the remains of additional wall sections that predate the Ming Dynasty. They determined that the full extent of the Great Wall, including these additional branches, actually measures around 13,170 miles, or 21,200 kilometers. That is ginormous, friends. Ginormous. The Great Wall is an impressive achievement that has captured the imaginations of the Chinese and others for centuries. Description: Parts of the Great Wall have crumbled throughout the years. However, much of it remains, and some sections have actually been restored, which means that they have worked to kind of keep it the same but make it more sturdy in the modern era. One of the most visited sections of the Great Wall, on Mount Badaling near Beijing, rises to around 35 feet high. This section is around 25 feet wide at its base and nearly 20 feet at the top. Watchtowers stand around 200 to 100 yards apart along the wall. The towers, about 40 feet high, once served as lookout posts to prevent invasions. In the east, the wall winds through the mountainous Mongolian border uplands. Here there are a foundation of granite blocks. It has sides of stone or brick, and the wall inside it is filled with earth. So that's a really interesting way that they constructed it, right? The top is paved with bricks and set in mortar. The bricks form a road that was used by the workers who built the wall, as well as the soldiers who defended it. Farther west, the Great Wall runs through the hilly areas and along the borders of deserts. Stone and brick were scarce in these hilly and desert areas, so the workers used earth to build this section of the wall. They moistened the earth and then pounded it to make it solid. Talk about using your resources. History. Written records indicate that the Chinese built walls along their borders as early as the 400s BC, when Emperor Shi Huangdi of the Qin dynasty from 221 to 206 BC is traditionally regarded as the first ruler to conceive of, which means think of, and build a great wall. Most of the Qin wall was north of the present day wall, although historians debate the exact location and length of the Qin wall. Shi Huangdi built his wall by connecting new walls with other ones. Wall construction continued during later dynasties, including the Han and the Sui. By this time, the Ming dynasty began in 1368. Many of the walls had fallen into ruin. In response to the growing threat of Mongol attacks, the Ming government began building a major wall in the late 1400s. This wall included most of what remains today. Like the earlier ones, it protected China from minor attacks but also provided little defense against a major invasion. Throughout the centuries, much of the Great Wall collapsed. Some of it was deliberately destroyed during the Cultural Revolution of the 1960s. However, in the 1980s, the Chinese government did yeah, the Chinese government did extensive renovations, that's the word I'm searching for, at the most visited sections. The wall no longer serves the purpose of defense, but attracts many visitors. Tourists from around the world come to see it. So that concludes the reading portion. Make sure you log in and work on the Nearpod as well.